everyone! Welcome back to Power Up with Pride. I'm still Frozen Flygon. I had a really great time watching that Pugsy run, and now we're about to jump into Alice in Wonderdream by LattMackey. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Frozen. Hello, everybody. My name is LattMackey, and we're going to be playing a game known as Alice in Wonderdream. It's actually a Japanese-only game, as you're probably noticing and seeing the writing on the screen. And so I think it's pronounced Fushigi no Yumi no Alice, but once again, my pronunciation is probably terrible. So just we go with Alice in Wonderdream. I am joined by the one, the only Glitch Witch. Kat, how are you doing?
Better late than never, right?
Thank you so much for joining. Kat has actually played through this game, so hopefully she can provide some insight. And we're going to go through this a couple of things before we get started. This is a platformer, and it goes by pretty quick. Even though it's a 20-minute run, it goes by pretty quick. So there is some menuing. So you'll see at some points where the entire screen is just going to stop. That's actually because I have to press pause to access the menu. And I'm just saying that now because it's in Japanese, so it's a little bit tough. You may not understand what I'm trying to do or anything like that. But we'll go through it as we're moving through the run. Here we go, okay? So this is a game made by Face, as you can see right here on the title screen, and you may be familiar with other Face games. They actually had a couple of them on the TurboGrafx 16. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go!
Good luck, Latt.
Thank you
Trust
so
me,
much.
I know you need it with this game. Not you, this game.
Let me just tell you, if you ever play this game blind or casual, it can be super challenging. It's a lot of, well, it's just tough.
And,
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, it's got a whole menu system with magic spells that it does not make aware to you whatsoever. Maybe maybe if you speak Japanese, it probably tells you, but not to me.
So I was fortunate. We had some Japanese speakers actually while I was playing through this blind, and it doesn't make it clear or overt that there is a menu at all. That part is there's nowhere it's listed or anything. Once you get into the menu, there is some instructions, but not. You have to find the thing before you can actually start using it.
If I'm not mistaken, she yells out a little "aya" thing.
Yes, exactly. So you'll probably notice this is kind of like a send-off or something similar to Alice in Wonderland. And so there are going to be some very, there's the rabbit, I don't know the story. I've never read the book. I haven't even watched the movies or anything like this. So I'm assuming these things exist in the Alice in Wonderland story universe place.
I mean, I've never... We'll get to content later that makes me question if Alice has ever really, dueled with Medusa.
It makes me wonder as well, right?
But I fell asleep with an Alice in Wonderdreamish kind of thing going on, and I am here awake with an Alice in Dreamish Wonderland thing going on.
There's a lot of different interesting kind of tech in the game. We haven't really found anything that breaks the game, like a glitch that just destroys, half the game or zips or anything like that. But there is some interesting tech, and that's one of the things that makes the speedrun so much fun. You'll notice that I'm jumping on enemies. The way that you can do the most amount of damage in this game is by jumping on top of them. That does the most amount of damage. But you also have this... I guess you'd say weapon where you can shoot something, and that does a little less damage, but it will be used as we go throughout the run here, and you'll notice coming up pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, and it is stated, Vlad did say the jumping deals the most damage, and attacking deals somewhere around the leastest, and it's not even, to put it into perspective, jumping on something I think deals somewhere in the realm of, 8 damage, and yelling at it deals 1 damage per little power bubble.
Right. It's pretty significant.
Yeah, you're going to be yelling at things a lot if that's your only source of attacking.
For those that are familiar with the Mega Man games, the ladder tech in this game is actually kind of similar. So in this game, when I'm jumping up ladders, I'm actually taking my finger completely off of the D-pad, which for a speedrun takes a little bit of getting used to actually work ladders properly.
Yeah, it's weird. If you're holding the D-pad and try to jump off, you're just going to run right off the side.
That's my first death. Good thing we have a good, easy checkpoint.
I love that death animation.
It's got the best death animation of basically any game I've ever played. Okay, so this will be the final boss of the first world, if you will. And it's what do you call him, Mike? Maybe not a scarecrow, but...
I almost called him Pinocchio, which...
There we go, yes.
I guess, it is a completely wood doll, but that's fine.
My split name for this boss is actually Pinocchio. So there we go.
Pinocchio, not quite.
Yes, Rain. That is totally yes. That is yeeted. It most definitely. Alice definitely does the yeet.
So we just got a second spell, or we still just have the search one that we haven't seen?
We do.
Yet?
Here's gonna be the first spell. This is the jump spell, and you'll notice it. I went through. You obviously want to menu as quick as you possibly can, so you probably didn't see it, but it's a little blue. There it is again. But this makes me jump a lot higher and makes it so we can get through these things.
I gotta shout out those raccoons, because they don't, they throw those things at you, but they don't actually hurt you until they explode. So they're just this really friendly enemy that's kicking these spiky balls that don't actually hurt you.
Kaiblat, it is totally a Louis Vuitton house in the boss fights. That is absolutely accurate. There's a little LV, you can spot it. Although I think we only see it one more time, so I'll try to point it out.
I love that.
It's pretty cool. There's a jump spell that makes you jump high, but there's actually also a super jump in this game that can also be very frustrating to figure out.
That jump, wow, what is it, a 3-frame window to hit?
It's very small, yeah, 2 or 3 frames. That's not much.
It's this intended game mechanic that you almost need at times. Like there's some jumps that I really feel the game wanted you to be able to do. And it's a bounce off of an enemy, but it's a 3-frame window to actually get the jump.
So I just did a really quick discover spell. The red book in your inventory is a discover spell, and you can find like hidden things throughout the levels. I'm using it to pick up health so that I can do a damage area there and also get through the main boss, and you'll see here in just a sec. And I'm going to use the discover spell again one more time here to get some health.
The health in this speedrun is extremely tight. There are upgrades to get more health maximums, more magic maximums, and they last until the end of worlds or when you die. They're really useful for casual play, but that seems to have this routed out really nicely.
I do want to do a real big shout out to Epic Neon Ninja Monkey, who is the world record holder and has actually done most of the work in this game. He's done some tasking on it. He actually did the memory address lookups and everything, where he found out what these frame windows were and what some of the the actual damages that's done. There's a lot of great info on the speedrun.com website. If you're ever interested in running this game, you may not want to. I don't know. It can be super frustrating and challenging.
It is a game I'm like, yeah, I'll run this, sure. And then I got to that final boss, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to run this anymore.
So it's funny you mentioned. Go ahead. No, please.
I was gonna say, it's not because the boss is like super difficult or anything. It's just to do it fast, you need to hit those 3-frame windows.
We just got past one of the parts that I was fearing the most. The run can totally die here if I screwed something up, and we actually got it. So here is Trumpet Dog, or not a Trumpet Dog, or Tuba Dog, or French Horn Dog, or whatever musical instrument you want to give him. But this is the Tuba Dog.
Fun fact.
Oh my gosh, Tuba Dog.
Fun fact, Lat does not know how to fight the Tuba Dog without the speed strats.
I had no idea. In fact, when I was practicing, because I was doing actually a couple where I died purposely so I could learn how to do what to do if I die. I still have no idea.
Alice hates music, confirmed.
Alice hates music. She does. She's beating
No music here.
One of the best enemies in the entire game, but it can totally just destroy your run if you screw that part up. So. This is some of my favorite music in the entire game, actually, is this part here. Got a nice little good beat to it. Pick up some more health. That is a hornet. Okay, somebody who actually understands knows what they're talking about. I'm pretty sure it's a French horn as well, but...
It is a French horn.
Okay, well, see, there you go. My chat was insistent on it being a tuba.
It's really silly, so I understand why it could be mistaken as a tuba.
Tuba Dog just flows when you say it.
Yes, the name is way better.
Okay, so this is the... Go ahead.
I would say we'll see a bunch of the same boss as we're going through this. Lat and I have an uncanny ability to speak at the exact same time somehow.
I know. Apparently, we coordinated it that way. But that was the last appearance we'll see of the ghost. You'll notice that's the 3rd time, and every single time it gets, the size gets bigger. It gets bigger and bigger. So thankfully, that is no longer that. But we will see the lizard again one more time at the end of this level. So.
I do want to say, like, chat just pointed out that the boss music is particularly fun, and the biggest shame of the speedrun is that it goes away right away. The boss music is a real jam if you let it, like, go for more than the speedrun will do.
It really is. That's unfortunate. There's some real charming aspects of this game, but when you start speedrunning, it really you move through it so quickly. You don't get a chance to enjoy it as much. You'll notice that in my inventory, I now have this little green spell. Not going to use it at all. Still not even quite sure what it does, to be honest with you. I think it does. A spring pops up and you jump on the spring and something happens, but I have never figured out what that actually does. So
I don't know if I've ever activated the green spell, like ever.
Completely, useless in the casual and the blind playthrough as well. So okay, that's the last lizard.
I'm usually one to experiment with buttons and see what they do, and nope, just not gonna do it.
Completely unnecessary. Okay, so this is the last stage of World 3. And we got quick fire. So you can actually see me firing my weapon. I do use it occasionally. You notice I used it on a couple of boss fights as well, because you can do more damage when you do a combination of the jump and the weapon attack.
This room in casual is particularly rough. There's almost no room for error here in the speedrun.
As I was prepping for this marathon, this room can be a deal breaker in the speedrun as well. And I definitely had a couple of run-ins with that room that were not very kind, to say the least.
Yeah, thankfully, as soon as you get past it, the literal next room has a full health restore in the corner. But oof, getting there can be a little questionable.
And this is the Big Bad Wolf. At least it looks like the Big Bad Wolf. I don't actually know if that's the name of the character, but
I think you just jumped this nice wolf in our living room.
Exactly. And that was a great little strat that Epic Ninja Monkey discovered, where you can actually be in the wolf's iframe or hip area and not get hit. So thank you, Epic, for figuring that one out. And we're on to the palace, where the difficulty level significantly increases. So if I stop talking for a moment, you'll know that I'm trying not to die. Even though it may not look like it, I promise you I'm trying not to die.
So I can talk through this as someone who played this casually somewhat recently. This room, this palace, this whole area, trying to play casually is a bit of a nightmare, and I've really come to the conclusion that the only actual route through here is the speedrun route. Otherwise, it's just this brutal nightmare segment that you'll almost never get through, and especially because the checkpoint is still all the way back in that previous room.
The checkpoint is brutal, and I now have an invincibility spell, which definitely helps out a lot. But I agree with Kat. It's actually the reason I decided to start speedrunning the game, because my casual playthrough took about 8 or 9 hours. 2 or 3 of them were spent just on this level. So
don't blame you. Yeah,
I've already put this amount of time in. Why not just learn the darn speedrun?
And this is one of the most satisfying rooms to go through in the speedrun, just because it is such a nice and smooth room. As we spam invincibility through it.
The invincibility is a little bit of a marathon save strat, but also at the same time, it actually makes the room just a lot easier, but it does waste some time to go through that animation.
And this boss in particular, trying to fight it without this exact strat is also kind of brutal. Like, there's just too many things on the screen.
I could not figure out how to beat this bad boss casually. I don't know how it fits into the Alice in Wonderland lore. I'm sure there is something there, but it can be super challenging if you're not fully powered up.
Anyway, now that nightmare's done, here's the nightmare.
The nightmare! And we are rapidly approaching the final boss here. I'm gonna take this just a little bit safer, but you can see they are literally throwing everything at you at this point. Kitchen sink, anything they can find.
Anything but a background.
Anything, exactly. There is a final spell that you get. Have no idea what that golden book does. I'm sure it does something. I don't even remember using it in the casual or blind playthrough, so.
I feel like I used it and I don't remember what it does.
It does something. We can all agree on that it does something. What that something is, who knows?
So we are, as I said, rapidly approaching our final boss. They did put a full health restore just over the door, which is so nice.
Thank you, developers. This is the final boss, and there's quite a bit to say about it. There's two forms. This first one is kind of like a Medusa type thing. What do you think? I don't know.
It's Egg Medusa who throws
There you go.
that launch into the nightmarish chickens. When I was playing this casually, a lot of people in my chat would just come in and be like, I do not like these chickens.
They are the worst.
Birds are the worst. Confirmed.
They really are. This game is no exception. And this last form, you actually, so I didn't realize Cat actually has a strat where you don't have to use the super jump, but I didn't think you could beat it without using the super jump. So
yeah, it was something that I thought you could only beat with these 3-frame window jumps where you get the big bounce, but I could not get that for my life. So I learned to do it just by...
Oh, here we go. Time is right. Time.
Hey,
wow.
GG.
That actually went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. There. Well, a little bit of practice. I gave me back. I've actually practiced. A little different than Pac-Man. But the game is really charming, and even though there is a little bit of a language barrier for an English speaker like myself, the game is still super enjoyable, but really it presents a good challenge. It reminds me in a way of like when you play through like a Castlevania game or something where there's a big challenge to it up front, but it's really rewarding and kind of fun when you actually make it through. So it's I highly recommend it if you have a PC engine or some reason, if you're one of the
like a TurboGrafx or a PC engine lying around.
Right, exactly.
We all got one of those.
I mentioned it before, but I do want to do the Trevor Project is a charity that is near and dear to my heart, and thank you everyone who's donated and made that happen. We're over $4,000 now. We were rapidly approaching $5,000, and it's so awesome to see such a great cause be supported by a wonderful community. So thank you everyone who's donated and continues to donate. We're still not done yet, so get the donations in. You still have time, and let's get us over $5,000. I know we can do it. It's going to be awesome. Kat, thank you so much for joining me on commentary, and Frozen, thank you so much for jumping in here as well. I appreciate both of you.
Absolutely. Thanks for the great run. Had a wonderful time watching.